Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, and I thought on the heels of the F84F video, I should just do an F7U video. The F7U is going to be the other Tier 10 multi-role, and this aircraft, instead of getting, 14 air-to-ground rockets, it's actually going to get a total of 4 500-pound bombs. It's also going to be a very quick aircraft, capable of doing some pretty decent boom and zoom runs at lower altitudes. And as you can see here, we're able to effectively get on the 6 of this heavy defense aircraft, and we just picked up the military base. So typically these battles devolve to engaging the enemy over the airfield and then just gunning it for the enemy military facilities as well. So hopefully we'll be able to I was gonna say hopefully we'll be able to pick up this zone, but doesn't look like that's gonna happen. He got hit pretty hard there. Should be on fire. It looks like he put it out. His engine is out as well. I'm trying to interrupt their military facility. We got 63 seconds till the bombs are back. I know there's a ground pounder over here. We have the same firepower as an F2H at Tier 9. But the guns overheat pretty quick, so we gotta be aware of that. That's a human-controlled heavy. He's on our other heavy. Come on. Let's get those guns on target. Oh, he's just pushing away from us. Oh, we picked him up. We picked him up. That's going to be huge. Bombs will be up shortly. There is a defense aircraft here. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Picked up both military facilities. Let's defend a little bit. We have a decent amount of survivability on this platform. Oh, I wasn't gonna quite make that one. Let's come back around on him. The enemy heavy is coming back for the vengeance. Must not be happy about what happened earlier. Taking this fight into a minor vertical. I am being engaged in a turn fight with this guy, which is an interesting move on his part. Got his tail. I think he's calling his buddy in on our 6, actually. We're gonna have to adjust. Okay, we got the bot taken care of. F84 up above. Heading for the military facility right now. Hopefully we can defend a little bit. Human in the key 82-3 or 162. Okay. We got the zone. Kind of was expecting that to happen. We'll spawn at the airfield. Ooh, is that the best move? Yeah, we'll spawn at the airfield and head towards their military facility. Yeah, that's him. And his buddy as well. Okay. Got him. So the only thing left is going to be the enemy military facility. Let's start heading that way.
Hang in there. You'll soon be cut off from support. I say again, support will not be available.
Oh, we missed one. Thought I hit all those bombs. That's kind of stinks that we missed one. Oh, there he is. Kind of expected that, but you know what? We're still ahead on zones, and it was before squall line. He is giving us a bit of a run for our money. We'll respawn over at the airfield, or at our normal spawn, and head towards the garrison. I think is going to be our best bet for the time being. Knocking out that ground pounder will give us a little bit of time, and potentially work our way over to the other military plant. Fighting over the airfield is going to be a bit of a suicide mission, so... Looks like that ground pounder's been taken out. Look for some of the Spitfires. Gonna be an easier target. $720 damage a second. Ooh. But is the airfield going to make more sense for the time being? I don't want to go over there against him as a primary threat. We get a little bit of altitude. Hopefully our bomber will coax him over to chase that. And nope. He's here. You going for the climb? Maybe. A smart move. I see him. Oh, I was worried about that one. Ah, that's a little bit of a pain. We might still have it, but I don't have high hopes at this point. Looks like we were fighting a bit of an uphill battle there. The F7U does have some advantages, but in a lot of ways it's going to be a major departure from what we're really used to with the Corsair line. The Corsair line features relatively good maneuverability when you compare it to the other American multi-role line, which culminates with the F-84F, with the F-84F getting very good maneuverability at top tier when you get up to tier 10, while the F7U essentially trades its maneuverability for more airspeed and getting the 4 500-pound bombs, which are going to be more consistent in their play because they're kind of fire and forget weapons. But oh, there we go. We can follow this guy. Pretty sure he's not long for this world. Whoop. Yeah, as soon as he gets taken out, this match is going to be over, and I'm willing to bet that he is spotted right now since he's closing on this Jawa here. Close battle, though. Very close battle. But again, we're trading a lot of maneuverability in order to get some of the things that the F7U has, and that feels underwhelming when you've come from flying Corsairs for so long. Yeah, here's the moment when we lose this guy. Oh, are we going to pick it up? Whew, very close match. Very, very close match. Not our best performance, but I think it does show what you can kind of expect when you get to this airframe. It just feels like it's lacking by comparison to what you've had before. At least with the F-94D, even though it's a total departure from all the rest of the aircraft in the line with its very little air-to-ground payload, if you even consider the air-to-air rockets payload at all, and you're relying heavily on the Vulcan. Meanwhile, the F7U, it's still going to get some good firepower, but it's actually less than what you would get with an F-94D. And that lack of maneuverability really is felt, and I think you guys kind of picked that up while we were in that battle. But when it comes to zone flipping, doing its primary job of capturing zones, the F7U is very effective at doing it, if anything, just for its ability to get across the battlefield. Now, I'll fully admit that I am not using these Mark 12s to their full potential, and there are people that are much better with them than I am. But we were able to capture a total of 4 zones, catching the military bases twice, the air base, as well as the garrison, and we managed to do 3,600 damage, or 36,000 damage against ground targets when a single payload is at best around 23,000 damage. So we were able to do some pretty good work against the special ground targets at each one of those sites. But it did take all of the bombs in order to achieve that, even running Demo Expert. Now, once we go through and upgrade this aircraft to Specialized, we will get the option for putting on the consumable for increasing the overall damage from the air-to-ground payload, but I'm actually more interested in taking advantage of the forward-firing armament. Probably going to go with the gas-operated action. If anything, just to roll the really rapid cooldown, so that way we can kind of do a tap-tap with the fire on this, with the ability to kick the overall damage well over the 720 mark, and may go with the lightweight power unit here underneath the engine. I think I'm going to go with the lightweight power unit regardless to increase the maneuverability, but I may swap out the lightweight wing frame for polished skin. We'll see when we get further along, but I really think taking advantage of the overall airspeed bonuses this aircraft has is going to pay off in the long run. As you can see, the airspeed here is very good. 658 miles an hour with just straight and level boost, with a max speed of 745 if we introduce a dive into the aircraft's flight profile. Now, if we compare that to its competitor, if you would, the F-84F, the F-84F is not going to have the same type of airspeed that you would see when it comes to the F-7U. Granted, the cruise speed is going to be comparable, but even with the dive speed and the boost speed, there's nearly a 60 mile an hour difference between the two. They do sport identical altitude performances. Oh, sorry, I stand corrected. They have identical optimum altitude performances, but when it comes to max altitude, we actually get a little bit more with the F7U, which is why it was able to push up a little bit higher. It even gets a better climb rate as well. And that's what you get for having this twin-engine monster for the multi-role. And it's the only twin-engine, I believe, that... No, that's not true. The MiG-9 is also a twin-engine, but I think it's the only twin-engine multi-role that is still classed as being a multi-role and not a heavy. I'm sure I'll find an example that corrects me rather quickly. When it comes to airspeed, let's draw some comparisons. The same dive speed on the F7U as we get with the XF90. There we go. And when it comes to the straight and level airspeed, there are definitely some major differences, but again, we're talking about the fastest aircraft in the game. We can compare it real quick to the MiG-15. MiG-15 gets... Should actually compare it like that. There we go. The MiG-15 ends up getting an airspeed of only 634 and 683 in the dive. And I want to find one more aircraft to compare it to, and that's going to be the HG-3, kind of your typical heavy aircraft, and this thing's airspeed is going to be 671 and then again 745 in the dive. So they're going to be different, but it's going to be comparable enough that explains why we were able to chase down the enemy 262 HG-3 so readily. I'm not going to say easily, but we were able to do it multiple times and maintain a relatively good chase and kind of kept him on the back foot for a lot of that battle. I think the F7U is kind of given a bad rap for the most part, but in skilled hands, and Kime Invictus, if you ever want to check out any of his videos, he flies this thing to absolutely great effect, but I don't fly it enough, and not as much as I probably should, considering that this was my second tier 10 aircraft. But I do like the look of the aircraft. It took me a while to get past this really weird bulbous cockpit, but overall, really good speed, really good look to the airframe, and it does actually have some very strong yaw control with these very big vertical stabilizers. So, hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.